Dance is an amazing art form that combines artistic expression and athletic movement. Dance is physically demanding. It requires dancers to jump, turn, balance in place, travel through space, change levels, lift one another up, etc. Most, if not all, of those movements require physical strength to perform. Strength training has traditionally been a staple in many sports, but the same cannot be said for the dance world, and I think it's time for that to change.
So my name is Rachel Jimenez. I am a fitness professional and a studio owner. I specialize in teaching Pilates and strength training. So I have been dancing since the age of 6, and after my freshman year of college as a dance major, I pivoted and shifted my focus to exercise science as my major. And since then, after graduating, I've worked in fitness in a vast variety of settings in corporate wellness. I've worked in powerlifting gyms. I've worked in wellness centers. Back in 2019, after I had worked in fitness for about 5 to 6 years, I opened my own Pilates studio in the back of a powerlifting gym I was working at. And in 2022, I moved the studio to a bigger location that I was able to also implement my strength training teaching as well. So under the same roof, I both teach Pilates and strength training. I've also competed in strongman events. I've competed in powerlifting. I've competed in bodybuilding. Always in the back of my head, especially after getting into fitness as both a professional and as an athlete, I always thought, how could this impact me as a dancer? How could have this impacted me when I was a serious dance student? So about 2 years ago, I decided to go back and get my master's degree in exercise science, and I also started focusing and kind of keeping my eye on the dance world again, getting involved in classes and starting to try and brainstorm how I could make a difference in the dance world and what I could do both for myself as a dancer and what I could do for dancers and bring strength training to that world and show them how impactful and how helpful this could be. So with this project, in an effort to showcase and share the benefits of strength training, I wanted to bring in some dancers that didn't have any strength training experience and put them through a strength training program for about 8 weeks and see what they take from it and what benefits they personally feel that it has brought them as dancers. I also wanted to include dancers that do include some sort of strength training and share and ask them what they have taken away from it and what brought them to strength training, what prompted them to begin training in addition to their dance. I also wanted to include the opinions of professionals that exclusively work with dancers and get their knowledge and take on the aspect of strength training and what it can do for a dancer.
I'm Dr. Alexis Sands, and I'm located in Phoenix, Arizona.
And what is your business called and what do you do?
My business is called AZ Dance Medicine Specialist, and I provide functional medicine and holistic healthcare for injured dancers working to get back to their max capacity of performance, particularly when muscle, bone, and joint approaches haven't been helping them to achieve their performance goals.
My name is Amber Tacey, and I'm currently living in Austin, Texas.
And what is your business called and what do you do?
I am the founder of Dancers Who Lift. We're an online health and wellness company.
My name is Kendall Babb, and I am located in Los Angeles, California.
What is your business called and what do you do for a living?
Yeah, so I'm a personal trainer for dancers, and I'm also a dance science educator, and my business is called Body Connect. So we offer various online personal training services and group training programs, regular DIY training templates. And then these services also have an emphasis in dance science education. So they're not only following the exercises, but they're understanding why they're doing what they're doing and how it's going to help them with their dancing.
After receiving numerous applications, I selected 4 dancers to be a part of an 8-week strength training program, all of which included personalized programming and one-on-one coaching that took place once per week. We documented their experience over the 8 weeks with interviews before beginning the program, halfway through, and after their last training session. These workouts included compound exercises such as the squat, deadlift, overhead press, lunges, and variations of these exercises that were specific to the dancer's individual needs. These exercises are fundamental movement patterns that make up the backbone of many dance movements. While not necessarily dance-specific, they are movements we can safely progress over time to ultimately aid in supporting the many movements the dancers do in the studio and on stage.
For this project, I'm really looking forward to just improving my dancing by getting stronger. I think I started dancing at a time where I wasn't really like working out or exercising other than like being on my feet all day for work. So I think there's certain like moves that I could execute better with the strength training, like just turns and jumps and being able to like have a higher releve, things like that.
I have not been at the gym very much recently. I've just been doing a lot of stretching. So like this is a super cool opportunity to like get me jumped back into that and have a better idea of what my 23-year-old body should be doing, because most of my knowledge is from when I was a teenager still. So it's nice to learn new things.
I've definitely been interested in trying strength training in the past. It just hasn't really worked out schedule-wise, or I would go to a gym and pick up the dumbbells, but then be kind of nervous to try lifting heavy, and it just never worked out to find a trainer.
Trying it for the first time, I guess hesitations-wise, I'm worried that I wouldn't be able to really do it, or I would start at a really low weight, which is okay, but we'll see how it goes. And then I'm expecting, my ballet training to get better, especially my extensions, holding my legs up in the air instead of just kicking them up there. Just making me look more like a controlled, stronger dancer as opposed to just filling my arms and legs around. I'm most excited to try something new. I've never done something like this before. See where I can really push myself, see what I could do, because again, it's something I've never done before. So, and hopefully it's something I can take outside of this program.
While cross-training has always been somewhat present or recommended with the dance world, strength training is a method of cross-training that is not as heavily recommended as maybe it should be. As dance continues to evolve, with more advanced skills and technique variations, now more than ever, it is important to support the demands of dance technique, choreography, and the health of the dancing body. Research has shown that the addition of strength training can be beneficial for performance, and the benefits may go beyond just dancing better. Dance alone has not been shown to be effective in increasing muscular strength, meaning that just dancing more may not actually help a dancer progress in their training or skill work. On the contrary, just dancing more may contribute to the development of overuse injuries, something that is quite common among dancers of all ages.
I've definitely learned to use more parts of my body than I thought. Definitely when I went in here, I thought I'd be training like just my legs or just my arms at a specific time, but I'm really training every part of my body with every single exercise, which is pretty cool and something I can implement in other parts of my life. My hesitations have definitely changed. I'm less afraid or ashamed of starting at a lower weight because I know I can grow and I know I can get better. And it is difficult at times, but there's just so much support, I'm not worried.
I've been learning a lot about my placement, my proper form, realizing how my feet are unstable in certain positions and learning how to cue myself to kind of correct that and become stronger in all the movements. I'm also feeling a lot more confident walking into a gym situation and not being afraid of equipment and just being around other people lifting weights. I think now that I've got more knowledge about it, it's not such a scary thing anymore.
I'm really enjoying it so far. It's like kind of different from what I expected because I don't know, I thought it would be harder, I guess, but it's really personalized to like what you can do. There's a lot of taking breaks in strength training, which is nice. It's not like go, 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 like get super out of breath. So I like it, I'm enjoying it. I've learned a lot about just like the technique of strength training, how to use different like gym equipment. I've learned about myself and like what I'm capable of and like how much I can lift and that I'm stronger than I thought.
I love working with, we call them recovering perfectionist dancers. And I think that strength training really gives dancers the opportunity to step into that human element and say, oh, right, I'm a person and I'm having a human experience. I would like to direct my human experience to the stage or to the studio and get the most out of that and present myself one way over there. But first and foremost, what is my human experience right now? Okay, I'm maybe not able to give 110% in the gym today, but I could give 40% and I can give myself grace to know that that's enough with what I have to give today. 40%, maybe today's 100%, and that's okay.
I've definitely learned how to squat so much better. Squatting, I feel like, is the big takeaway because I just was doing it entirely wrong. So I feel like that, and then focusing less on specific things and focusing more on my whole body when doing stuff is, I think, something I've noticed had the biggest impact, because beforehand I was just focusing on like what this thing was supposed to target and less how that works with your whole body. So like the meld of the two has been nice. Definitely balance, I think, is what I'm noticing the most, because that's usually where I struggle, because I'm usually a very planted like dancer and I tend to squat because I'm like 5 feet tall, but I have trouble in anything that's like a more lifted thing finding my balance because I'm further away from the ground. So I feel like by focusing more on my whole body when I'm doing it, I'm getting better at more planting, I guess, my feet, even if it's not my whole foot on the ground. Because the difference of like releve versus flat foot I find a little hard sometimes, but I think it's just because I've never tried to like fully grasp the ground and like think of my heels. Just because they're not on the floor doesn't mean they're not still like activated and working. And I think that was like a big tell that I've kind of always missed.
I've definitely seen a lot more control in my dancing, especially not only in ballet. I know I talk about ballet a lot, but also in jazz and contemporary. I am a lot more aware of what I'm doing, and I'm using every part of my body, just not my arms and my legs, which is overall making me a better dancer in general.
I feel more flexible, and I haven't been doing a lot of dance like choreography, but I've noticed like in like the yoga classes that I take especially, I feel stronger, my balance is better, and when I'm working on technique, I just feel like more solid.
The purpose for these interviews was to get the dancers genuine feedback about what they initially expected before beginning this program and see how these expectations changed or evolved during and after the training period. We also wanted to see if they noticed any changes or improvements to their dancing, as well as any takeaways that they had from the entire experience.
So after the last 8 weeks of strength training, I feel like it went really good. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about my body. I learned a lot about just how to exercise, like how to be aware of different like muscle groups. And I think I've had a lot of growth in the past 8 weeks too. Some of the things that I've learned while doing the strength training program, I just learned a lot about how to like pace myself, I guess, like how to like make progress with strength training without like pushing myself too far. I learned how to like know my body's limits. I think in general I'm just more in touch with my body, so I think I will be less likely to like push too hard in the future and just like respect the progress I've made, even if I don't feel like, oh, I didn't like reach this like goal that I set for myself. Like all progress is progress.
I've definitely learned how to be more in tune with my body. Coming in here, I thought what I would be learning is how to be stronger, how to be more balanced, more of the physical stuff. But I've definitely also mentally have been more sure of what to do and what I needed to do, especially when it comes to my breathing, and be more in control of my body and my movements. And definitely, you know, ballet, jazz, modern, just be able to hold things longer and stronger, especially like my legs and even my arms. I don't have a problem with keeping my arms, but it definitely hurts more the longer I keep it out there. But now it feels a lot more in control and it feels a lot more stable. So yeah, being able to be more in control of my body is the biggest thing so far.
I've definitely noticed a positive impact on my dancing. I started back at company classes and rehearsals about halfway through the strength training program. And the first thing I noticed is that my quad strength had been greatly improved. Normally when I come back to dancing after a break, I get my quads are very fatigued and sore for the first 2 weeks. And since I started with strength training, I did not have any of those problems going back to dancing. I've also noticed definitely improved balance in my dancing. Like mentioned before, I feel like I can feel my alignment better, and also the strength needed to hold that alignment has improved.
I've literally always wanted to be able to use the gym. I just didn't know how to, and what I should be touching, because I've always just been scared of building too much muscle and going for the wrong thing, and then it then negatively impacts my dancing. So I've just had a tendency to just do less equipment-based stuff. But it's really nice to see equipment isn't scary anymore, and actually it can help a lot.
In addition to working with dancers brand new to strength training, I also wanted to document the perspective of dancers that already integrated strength training. I wanted to hear what they had to say about why they began training and how it has positively impacted their dancing.
I began lifting not for dance, actually, more for just emotional management. All my guy friends were in the gym and they were like, this might be good for you. So then I did, but then I found the more that I was lifting, the better I was strength-wise in dance with jumps, particularly is where I noticed it. First thing people would say, oh my gosh, your jumps are so much higher, what have you been doing differently? Or you're way more flexible, or you can hold a tilt, you can hold your movements, just much more, the core muscles I feel were just stronger, and then that just showed in everything that I did. You could tell there was an improvement.
So in my I'm not sure if it was my junior or senior year of high school, I had a coach, and she was the coach of my dance team, but she was also a teacher at the studio I was with at the time. She loved cross training. She did Pilates, and she was a weightlifter. She was in the gym every day. She loved running, and she kind of told us that we should do it, and then also as our teacher, she made us do it. But in that case, I found a way to love it as well, and I also felt so much stronger. And when you first start to feel strong, it's a very powerful feeling, especially when you feel it in your dancing as well. I held myself differently at bar and ballet, and just the way I moved across the floor was so much more powerful. So I honestly give her all the credit, because she was the one that told me to start lifting weights and going on runs and just all these different exercises that I didn't think related to dance, but they really do.
I believe that strength training positively impacted my dance by making my whole performance seem more elegant. I would say that core and using balance and having power in your movements, it just makes everything flow better.
So when I was growing up, a lot of professionals who are, doing what I want to do, they would tell me to go to the gym and that I would need to cross train, and I never listened to them because I was like, no, because I was young and it really didn't affect me. But once COVID hit and my hips, I guess, really came in, and I'm so glad I do it now, and it's definitely a must. My main why and why I keep going is endurance. If I just sit around and do nothing and just go to dance class, I'm not going to build my endurance. And if I want to dance for 60 minutes in a show, I'm going to need it. And that is really what keeps me going and keeps me to keep going to the gym or run around even if I don't feel like it, because I know deep down it's better for me and it's what's going to sustain my career.
The level of agility that I have gained from strength training, which when I was younger, you were given this concept that strength training was going to lessen agility somehow, and whatever people were talking about as far as strength training, because again, I don't think the concept was the same as it is today. But the idea was, you don't want to have too much muscle because you're not going to be agile. And then once I started getting stronger, my agility just went through the roof. So, surprise. That's what I think everybody should try for.
My advice is to try new things, go to the gym, find a partner, and just see what works for you and see what doesn't, and not just try it once and be done. Give it a week or two of trying and feeling things out, because
obviously the results don't come right away. So just giving it that time to build up and see how that feels in your body versus other exercises, I think is important.
So if I was going to be asked about what other newer people to strength training who are coming from a dance background or still dancing want to do, I would say don't be scared. This is going to help. You could have been told whatever you've been told about whatever as far as weight goes, especially as a woman, and you will be shocked that none of it's true. Everything that you're doing in the gym to improve your strength, it's just going to help you on the dance floor.
I feel like all my hesitations are gone now. I'm definitely all in for strength training. And it's exceeded my expectations. I've had so much fun with this, and I definitely want to continue.
I do want to continue strength training as part of my dance training. I think it's been super helpful and it's really fun, and yeah, I do want to keep doing it in the future.
I hope everyone does this. Everyone should definitely get into it. It helps not only dancers, it helps people that work in an office, it helps people that are training every day. It's something that can be used in your everyday life. So 10 out of 10 recommend.
I've really enjoyed just now having a basis and like a ground to stand on at the gym, and it just takes away a lot of the fear out of it. So I'm very much looking forward to continuing and just seeing how I can add and improve to it.
If you're a dancer, but for whatever reason, yeah, you do kind of have an interest for like lifting, or you do have an interest in, you want to try like, what could boxing do for me? Or like, there are definitely endless opportunities of looking into other activities that can provide a strong and beneficial strength benefits that can directly relate back to your dance performance. So yes, I think it's important. I think it's integral. And I think there are so many different ways now that can be used for specific strength conditioning and strength training that can help with improving and maximizing dance performance overall.
Start now. You don't need to wait. There's no better time to start than now, even if it's only once per week, or even if it's just 30 minutes twice a week, or 30 minutes once a week. So just you're doing something. The consistency and the programming is what's going to get you results. So follow a program. Don't just go in blindly and follow a bunch of exercises you find on social media, because while that can be beneficial, and I post tons of exercises on social media too, but you have to know how to put them all together, and that's the hardest part. And that's where working with someone who is qualified trainer, someone who can assess you, someone that you can connect with like emotionally too, and someone who has the proper education to teach you why they're having you do certain things, I think is essential to your learning and growth, especially at a younger age. And then I would also say taking the time to recover. I know it's, rest your body, like your body needs rest is a very vague answer, but it's really important that your body gets rest, because that's how we actually get stronger. That's how your muscles actually recover and get and gain more strength. So I usually recommend that dancers take at least one full day of rest per week. But it's easier said than done, especially during competition season. So just kind of managing overall volume week to week, I think is important. If you can't have a full rest day, maybe look at, okay, am I doing too much, and how does my body feel when I'm doing all of this stuff? Can I keep up, or am I getting injured? Am I tired? Am I not sleeping? All of those things should be more important than going to every dance competition every single weekend, in my opinion.
I want to show dancers, teachers, friends, and family that strength training can be a helpful addition for a dancer, and that the benefits can go beyond just higher jumps and crisper turns. Confidence, social connection, and a positive outlet are all things that can come from beginning a strength training program. Adding this into a dancer's schedule doesn't have to be time-consuming. Because dancers are already active, training as little as once per week has been shown to be beneficial. Put simply, start small. Practice the movements you feel confident in, and reach out to a professional if you'd like to have more guidance and personalized coaching. Monitor your own training intensity to a level that challenges you, but doesn't wreck you. My advice to dancers: don't be afraid. If you want to improve your dancing and create a stronger and more resilient body, consider taking a step outside of the dance studio and towards the squat rack.